Good morning. Who am I looking at? Don't worry about it. But yeah, good morning and all that jazz. So I made a video last week and the week before. I think if it's not raining, I'm out here walking. But then I get home and I go back to the house and I get into whatever. And it's like, I don't want to post a weekend video on a Monday, on a Tuesday. Next thing you know, it's Saturday again. But I think I'll post the other one, because I don't want to repeat it. I already said it. Moving forward. So last week I dropped this song on, I think I talked about it, but the song kind of played through its life cycle. So I dropped it, boom, it dropped. And at first, no one really said anything about it, just whatever. And then went to sleep, boom, I got all these, oh my gosh, it's a great song. So now I'm like, let me try something. I posted on another account, my photography one, private account. And again, boom, lots of positive reviews. And then I posted on my main account, which if you follow. And then boom, I had people from college. One of my first teacher, first year at school, anthropology. She said she liked it. And it's weird because it's not like we talk every day. Like we haven't talked in, I don't know, 7 years. But yeah, it just had an overwhelming effect. And then it kind of just died down, because that's what I was talking about last week. Like, how do I, because I don't understand why. I mean, I played it for my therapist the other day, just because I don't think people believe when I'm talking about what I'm talking, because it's hard to see it. It'd be like I used to tell my exes in Japan, like, yo, when I be in the club, man, I don't know what it is, but people gravitate towards me, like, yeah, whatever. Now, mind you, they're with me, so that effect clearly must have worked. But they're like, they with me all the time. They're like, yeah. But and we went to the club one time, but since they're there with me, it just didn't work. I was a little self-conscious. But yeah, man, anyway, so people need to see it to believe it. But so I played the song for my therapist, and she's just like, oh my gosh, it's so great. Like, that's what I said. Now, she wasn't condensating. She wasn't being mean about it. She was just saying it's really good. I'm like, thank you. But I know you, dog. But yeah, like, I don't know the link between, because you hear a lot of the stories about they kept sending their songs. I apologize, the pollen or whatever the hell is attacking me. It's not the level of like Japan and hay fever. Don't miss that. But yeah, I probably shouldn't be out here walking. But anyway, so it reached its peak and then it just died out. But there's like, I don't want to be standing under trees. But then there's like these people, I forget who it was. Let's say Panda. The guy, Panda. He said he made that song a long time ago and he just kept playing it. Or 50 Cent. A lot of his deals went through. Or Eminem. Or Beatles. Or Lauryn Hill. Or Wu-Tang. Or Jay-Z. They felt they were good enough to go to labels, and they did. And the label's like, nah, we're not feeling your shit. And then they just kept doing it. Now, I know there's a lot of artists out there blindly following their passion. And I don't want to be one of those. Like, if I ain't good, I ain't good. I'm good with that. I could do it for me. But then this little spike And what's crazy about this song, I promise you, I will, if this video goes up, it will be on the end of it or in the front of it or somewhere so you can see. But what's crazy about this thing is I didn't labor. Like, you know how they say, I made the song in 10 seconds. I literally made the song in 10 seconds because it's a weekly challenge. And usually after I post it for the challenge, I don't ever do anything else with it. So I don't put so much energy and effort. Like the challenge is we get a week to make a beat and then we play it on the Friday. I usually make the beats on that Friday. So it's one of those things. I didn't even write lyrics to it. I just kind of sung something. So just really just boom. And if that was the effect, I'm thinking, well, what if I really sat down and wrote, made a video? But I don't know. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about that. Let me get this off the top. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who watch me. This is the second year since my mom passed. And I always feel a little tinge of something. Some years I would send like a flower basket or a fruit basket. Some years I would call. Some years I wouldn't. And when I came home, and after she passed away, I was tasked with the job to find like paperwork and stuff. So I'm digging through all the drawers, and my mom saved all of them. Everything, you know? They're all in a drawer. And I can't take it back. Whatever. But I could have sent other stuff, you know? Because one year I was going to... It's in the past. But, you know, she kept all of them, so... It meant something. My dad, he throws shit away. He doesn't throw it away, but it's not accessible. Like if you ask him, you remember what I bought you last year? It's like, I don't know where it is. You know, my mom kept stuff. So I wish I would have sent better stuff, cooler stuff. I mean, I did send stuff, but yeah. But yeah, the second year, I had this argument with this girl the other day. It's weird. Cause I had this conversation. We're jumping in. So I had this conversation with someone. It's like, girls, not in general, women, when we're talking about, you'd be like, yeah, I was talking to this one guy, blah, 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 blah. But guys usually say, yeah, I was talking to this one girl. It's rare that we would say, yeah, I was talking to this one woman, this one lady, this one gal. Usually, if a girl, and this is not even the pronoun thing, this is just old school talk. So it'd be like, if a woman is saying, yeah, I was talking to this boy, we'd automatically think someone of a younger age. But when we say I was talking to this one girl, you would think someone who's of age, same age, plus or minus, like whatever. Isn't that weird? Anyway, so I was talking to this one girl who was the same age as me. And, oh wait, I think I went too far down the rabbit hole. So she was saying something like, you know, I'm gonna get you something on your birthday. And I'm like, you don't gotta do shit on my birthday. And then she's like, but I want to. I'm like, you ain't doing that shit for me. You're doing it for you. And yeah, but I'm going to get some flowers for my mom, like the fake flowers. I don't even know where you find, because my family's like, why the hell are we gonna put real flowers on there? Get some nice fake ones, but I don't know where you find, because the dollar store, those fake flowers look fake. I want to get the really, are they real? And people have to come over and like touch it. That's what we do, touching people's flowers. But you know, my mom, she's not gonna see the flowers. My dad will see them because he always goes there. He's like always concerned about, because we have a family. It's not like it's our family plot, but my uncle is right up there and my cousins are in the neighborhood, whatever. So he's always looking around like, oh, they got flowers. No one gives us flowers. So I'm gonna try to get some flowers for her in case my dad goes through that. I take my dad to the gravesite, but he doesn't really celebrate things like that. But yeah, happy Mother's Day. My dad's birthday is on Monday. He's going to be 90 years old. 90. Crazy. 90. I don't even know if I'll live to be 90. There's crazy shit happen. Like cars, like I be on the highway driving at my speed, normal speed, and this guy's up my ass. And I don't even look over when they go speeding past me, because we live in a world where they might stop and shoot me, because that's what people do. Like just past couple of weeks, people getting shot for, I'm sorry, I farted. So I don't even know if I'll make it to be a ripe age of 90 years old. And then my dad, he be eating much healthier than I. I benefit because I'm just a picky eater, so I don't eat everything. And I don't eat to eat, or I don't eat for the sensation of eating. Does it make sense? Like some people, they be like, oh, and they be having all this, 3 hot dogs and I'm done. That's all I need. Go to bed. But anyway. And I got my bottled water. I'm trying. Hate water. It's good for us. I was gonna, my brother brought a case of Snapples. I was gonna bring that out, but I'm like, let me get the water. But, so I don't know what I'll get from my dad. I was thinking, because my dad, he doesn't want anything. Like, he wants what he wants. So if you got him something he doesn't want, he's like, I don't want this. So you gotta be very careful. So I was thinking maybe I'll get him this gigantic card. I saw at Spencer's. They usually have funny old people card. This big one. Because he's blind. So it'd be like, because you're blind, here's a big card. And he would laugh about that, I think. I don't know if I talked about it before. I don't remember. But my humor is my humor. I don't think it's funny. You'd have to know me. Kind of like South Park, Family Guy. They reference prior episodes. So if you didn't watch it, you just wouldn't know the inside jokes. So I'm kind of an inside joke kind of person, right? So if I'm like, that's my face, those who know would know. And I used it at my school. The kids like, why do you look that way? I said, that's my face. And then later on, they said, I was like, why are you doing that? Like, that's my face. So we got that little joke. They don't know where it's coming from. But that's me. So my dad and I, we've been living together for about a year and a couple months. And now we kind of have a rhythm. Like, I go to bed pretty early. Like, I'll be in bed at 9 o'clock. But then something pulls me away and I'll be on the computer at 9:20 as my dad's coming up the steps. Like, maybe I forgot to check an email or whatever. And he'll come by and he's just like, I just walk. So the next day, like, I'm going to bed at 9. He's like, yeah, when I get up there, you're going to be on the computer. Kind of a joke. There's this lady that my mom hated. Her name's Mary. I didn't care for her, but she's from England. My dad used to live in England, and they used to talk about England stuff. And she's always drunk. One time she peed on herself. Not to discredit her or whatever, that's who she is. So anyway, my dad's like, I'm looking for a woman. And I'm like, so now my dad didn't say girl, because my dad's of that age where girls are girls and women. And I'm like, how about Mary? He's like, what? So we have our little jokes. And yeah. This is going to be a short one, because that's the other thing. These long ass videos take forever to do what they got to do. But last week when I was here, I saw these black and yellow birds, and I was going to bring my camera. I don't see the black and yellow birds, so I'm glad I didn't bring my camera. Anyway, school. It's almost the end of the year of school. I've been teaching the 6th grade now, maybe 2-3 weeks. The principal don't ever be in the room. The principal don't ever be in the room with me, so it's just the students and I. And And yeah, I'm actually we're gonna do a loop and come around. So it's cool, whatever. They're a handful. That hasn't changed. Oh, there's the black and yellow bird. I don't know. I'm gonna have to Google that. But the students are a handful, and they're little bullies, or so they think. They told me yesterday. They said this, right? They're like, "Mr. Bailey, when are you gonna leave us? I'm surprised you stayed so long." And then they're just like, and they started listening. We made all these teachers cry. So I know about 2 teachers because I was in the room when it happened. And then and they started listening off last year. So they have been this unruly group for at least a year now. And they're proud of it. Like, we made all these teachers cry. And they're just waiting for me to cry. Like, what? Why the hell would I? And you might say because women cry or whatever. But there was one guy, he came in there and he ran to the office, and the secretary came in and she's just like, "I'm tired of your shit." She's one of the students' mother. And, they got all quiet. But that's how the kids are. And unbeknownst, is that how I say it? I don't know. I'm trying to use words. Unbeknownst to these children, I'm learning what works. Because yelling at people, unless they have some trauma connected to being yelled at. But not everyone's different. Some people tune it out. Some people start crying. Some people shut down. Some people fix the problem that they were yelled at. Everyone's different. This class doesn't seem like a yelling will do anything. That's what people have been doing before. So they're like, "How come you don't yell at us? Huh? Your voice is so soothing. It's so..." Got the bell. They're like, "How comes you don't..." I wonder if I can see it in the video. I'm not going to watch the video. But maybe I'm swerving like a drunk person. They're just trying to be all polite. She did say thank you. Anyway, so like, "How come you don't yell at us? Your voice is so soothing. You're so calm." And I told one of the students early in the year, because she asked, like, "I don't get paid enough to yell at you. Plus, it doesn't work." And yeah. But same student, so this last week, I guess it's still now, but last week was Teacher Appreciation Week. I don't know if I talked about this. I don't know if I got the card last week. I don't remember. But no, I think it was last week or something. Anyway, I got a card from one of the students, 25 cards, but one of the students says, "Thank you for teaching us. Thank you for being fair. Thank you for letting us be us. I appreciate you." I think she said "we" on the class, but you're the best sub ever. And I almost teared up. If she would have said that to my face, or if it would have been like graduation and I was on stage and they said that, I don't think I could hold back the tears. But a card, like, aw. But I got a lot of these cards. They're just like, you're the only teacher that stayed with us. You're the only teacher. And yeah. And there's some like, "I'm surprised you didn't leave." And it's like, why would I leave? I always tell them, you're 6th graders. You're doing what 6th graders do. I taught the 5th graders. They were the same, but they're younger, but still the same. But yeah, I go in there and I try to teach over them because they still talk. I start handing out. So this happened. So I handed out detentions a couple weeks ago. 3 of the students had a detention. The other 3, they didn't get the detention because the principal, she kind of came in and said, "Well, this person can't get a detention because they have a da-da-da-da-da-da." Like, well, how am I supposed to? It's like, whatever. And like, this person, they don't get a detention because da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to speak with their mother. And then one, she just didn't come to school. She was sick. And That's what the other teachers were dealing with. So they would try to lay down the law and the principal would like block them, which is very frustrating. Like, how do you discipline them? But I'm a different kind of creature. I'm a different kind of teacher. So I think of all types of ways to, how can I discipline them in a way that's not cruel and unusual? Have them standing on their tippy toes holding bottles of water. But I try. The biggest thing that I can do is hit them with the whole class will have a quiet recess or a quiet lunch, and it says, but I didn't do it. Well, they did, to talk to them. But I want to be fair, because again, it's not everyone. But then it's like, if I individually punish those and then it's half the class that's got punished, it's really hard to separate, because you can't. But I don't know, it's just cool. I do enjoy it. I think, because I was talking before if I would teach there again. And here, let me get my Apple Walk On. I was thinking if I would teach there again. I don't like how the principal kind of got in between it's like, you're going to jail for 60 years for doing X, Y, Z. And then the judge like, well, we got to let them off because it's Sunday. You should have told me. I would have done that on Tuesday. Like, so that probably will happen, whatever. But, yeah. One of the kids got me a little plushy stuffed animal thing for Teacher Week, which is really nice. I was like, aw. Hello. But, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Anything else of interest? I just finished reading an audiobook of Brave New World. It's a great book. I mean, it feels like it's the same story that's been told over and over again. It was 1930, so that's before all the movies I watched. But basically, there's a society that is perfect. Everyone is functioning the way they should be. And you think, wow, that's nice. But then when you look in closer, you notice, or when you get to meet a couple characters, they're like, man, I wish I could step out of line. But then very quickly, they are punished. And it's like, wow. And then you find out that it hasn't always been this way, blah, 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 blah. But it's like every other movie. It's The Matrix. It's The Hunger Games. There's a bunch of them. Those are the ones that came off the top. But this one, there was a point where, so in this one, it's 1930, so they really went in on black people. It's offensive, but so in this world, it's based in London, England, or whatever, and they have a perfect society, and every time people have an issue, they just take a drug. And the drug, like a little tablet. So they synthesize like euphoria and all that good shit without the side effects. So take a drug, boop, and then your problems just go away. And then they had a little reservation where they had like people who lived off the land, and they just lived hard. And the character, there was one guy who was he didn't really look the part. He was a little shorter than everyone, and he didn't have confidence. And there's another guy who was really smart, so he was a little too smart. So he started to see things for what they were. And these two characters, well, the one character, he goes to the reservation to see the indigenous people, I guess. What's going on? And while he's there, he meets this white guy who is living there. Apparently, I don't want to spoil it for you guys. Brave New World. But he meets this white guy who's living on the reservation, and he found out that that's the son of someone from the civilized world, that whatever. And he meets her mom, And he brings the savage, that's what they call him, the white savage. He comes back, and the savage, and he meets this girl. There's always a girl in there. And he falls in love with her. He loves her. She's so beautiful, because on the savage reservation, people get old. In this perfect utopia world, they figured out how to keep people looking like they're 21. Every time I say 21 in class, I don't say 21. I just be like, question number 21. The kids be like, 21, and whatever song. He has a lot of songs. I don't know his songs like that. But they be like, 21, and they start singing it. And it is crazy, because not like they're listening it on the radio, MTV, buying CDs. It's TikTok. Like, they just, you know how TikTok is, maybe you don't, but it's like memes or whatever. And that's how they know, because all they say is that, I woke up this morning in a Bugatti. But that's all. They don't know the before. But the people in the society look young, and he sees this girl for the first, he sees a woman from this society, because she came with the guy, and she was young, her breasts were perky, because in the savage land, look at that little rabbit, looking all small. In the savage land, I don't think they were wearing bras, they just were out there. But he falls in love, and then she slowly becomes in love with him, because he's like, in the savage land, you have to get married before you can become whatever. In this new world, everyone is with everyone. And that way no one gets attached. Like, they just figured out, if you don't get married, you can't get attached, you don't have all the jealousy. So everybody's with everyone. So she starts to fall for him, and then she comes up to him like, John! And he looks away, because he's trying to be like, save her beauty or whatever. And then she's just like going crazy. So she just comes to his house, she rips off her clothes, and she presses her body against him. And then our main character, John Savage, he's like, I forget the word they use, but he like pushes her away, and he's just like, whore, whore. And he starts going off. Because in the savage land, his mom is from this land. So she's also white. And then when she felt like in a ditch or something, so she got stuck there. And all the natives, they, I guess in their own way, they're saying they were pulling trains on her, because they just kept coming in and out. And all the wives and all the kids used to call his mom a whore. So maybe it was saying that he feels that kind of way about women who are forward. I don't know. They didn't go into all that. But he just like pushes her away, and she's just like, John, but I love you. And then the author, this author was pretty good. He did like all the voices, and they all sounded distinctly different. But the woman voice he was doing for her, she's like, but John, I love you. Why you know? So funny. But so I don't want to butcher it up for it. It's a great book. 8 hours if you're gonna do an audiobook. But yeah, great book. And now I'm listening to a Wyclef autobiography. I don't want to, but I do like the Fugees. They did come to Easton. I do sound like him, or at least he inspired me to sing. I always thought he was Jamaican. I didn't know what Haitian was. But, you know, he did the Bob Marley song, so I'm just assuming that, you know, but So it's interesting to hear his backstory. It kind of intersects mine. When Haiti had the big earthquake, like a week after Japan's earthquake, I remember hearing about it, because I remember Japan was just kind of like I think they were sending money to Haiti. But Japan was good. Like, people were like there was no shortages in the main cities. A friend of mine told me out in the outskirts they were doing, like, the cities didn't have any rule or governance. But Haiti was kind of like that. Shit was just crazy, you know? And Wyclef is talking about how He heard there's an earthquake. He flew over there, and everyone knew him. But since the earthquake shattered everything, nobody knew him. He was a stranger, just walking around trying to help people. And so he said it's the first time people didn't know who he was, which I thought that was kind of cool, you know. And he said he was naming the people that are with him. And he basically said he had a bunch of hoodlums, enforcers. He didn't use those words, but because Haiti's a tough country. He said a lot of other aid organizations would try to go in there and they get robbed, shot up. So he had his capos, he was calling them, and they come in there and he was just saying how one of his lieutenants, they were delivering aid, and he was driving like a Jeep with some food, and people attacked him. They're like, get out the car. He's like, no. So they shot him and took it. And Wyclef's like, I was going to kill him. I was going to kill him. Could you imagine? He could have. Like, this was someone he was friends with. I mean, it's his story, but I'm not going to discount how he's from. So he made his fortune in America, and he went back to where he's from to help out the best way he could. And the people that he helped, like his son, he said, died. So I'm reading that now. Pretty interesting. And I think that's everything. I'll put last thing. I got myself an iPad. Because I didn't get anything for my birthday. I was thinking, what am I going to get? Beat Machine, iPad, blah, blah, blah. And I got an iPad. Because what prompted, so I saw that Final Cut Pro and Logic Studio Pro are coming to the iPad. So I thought, oh shit, I need a new iPad. But actually, I could have used the one I previously had. It would have been at the lower end of the specs because it's like 4 years old. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just get one. So I'm looking, should I get the 11-inch, the same one, M1 chip, M2 chip. There's an M3 chip coming out in October. Watching YouTube is like the worst thing. I mean, I make a video, I post on YouTube. But like, there's just so many different, like there's one channel, you should get this. There's no channel, don't get that. And they just go back and forth. I went to the store on Thursday or Tuesday, just so I could like hold the different ones. And I met this guy, and I asked him my questions about the computer. Maybe that was like a 10-minute question. Then the next 45 minutes, we stood there talking about he works at Apple, and I'm trying to get a new thing. And we're just talking about how kids today, so when those kids today, and it's just kind of like, but kids today, there's a difference. Like kids today, they didn't ask. I remember when iPhone 3 came out, or is this called iPhone 3GS? My eyes, I didn't watch the Steve Jobs iPod and boom. But you saw it when it was trending back in the day. And I went to the store and I picked up that iPhone, like, oh my gosh, amazing. Sold. But kids today, they basically, when they come out and they're like breastfeeding, people be breastfeeding like this with the phone over here. Like they are aware of technology. And then you got all these old phones, which more or less they work. So that's what they're getting. They're not getting Barbie. I don't know. Can they still get Barbie? They get the Barbie app. So if there's not a system in place of, all right, this is how the time that you will be on the device, they're just kind of linked to it. And like, again, I'm all about technology, but in my class, I can't stop what they do at home or whatever. But in my class, in my room, I'm like, nope. Can I get my iPad? Nope. Can I get my Chromebook? Nope. Lock them shits up. Now, one is because they don't do shit. All they do is watch YouTube videos. Again, I'm making YouTube. It's like hypocritical, but it's different. Because they're not paying attention in class. They need to get their brains, or maybe they don't. Because AI is going to get much better. So they could just be all like, whatever they want to call it. Siri, Bob, John, whatever. please feed me, and some little robot will come out and feed them. They already got the cars that are self-driving. I saw one commercial where the car parked itself. So they're in a different space. It's kind of like, I don't know how to do cursive letters. I don't. I might have learned it, but it's not like we use it. I can literally sign documents, government documents. Just type your name here. Boom, that's signed. So why would I know it? Whereas before they had calligraphy classes and all that, where it's like this. So on the one hand, how can we expect the youth of today to function the way that we did when the circumstances that they are in is different? So I feel for them. Like they're little, like I'm standing here, right? I'm walking back to the door, the whiteboard. The kid, he comes in front of me, or she, they both do it, both genders. And then she'll like smack her friend or smack his friend or knock off the things on purpose. Like here's the hand and it's bop, and the things fall on the floor. And I'll say, hey, what you doing there? Or I always call him out. Oh, so that's what we're doing now? And then they'll say, Mr. Bailey, it was an accident. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. Like, no, my arm bumped. Like, I'm behind you. And it's weird because they just do that. Like, literally red-handed. Like, they'll be coloring stuff and their hands will be painted with whatever. And they'll be like, it wasn't me. And I wish you could have cameras, but that'd be invasion of privacy and all that. And then I started like I'll write their names on papers and give them a no recess. And I'll say, why don't I have recess? I'm like, you don't remember? I'm like, no, I don't remember. It's 25 kids. You expect me? But it's fun, you know? Like they always ask me because I guess they're not used to it. Like, are you tired of us? I'm like, no. I'm tired of your behaviors. But at the same time, a lot of you guys are, like I write on the board, I try to say it. So you guys, you make me proud. Like we were doing integers and they just couldn't wrap their heads around zero is neither positive or negative. But when you add two negatives together, you get a negative, blah, blah, blah. They just couldn't wrap their heads around. So I'm trying to drill them with more worksheets. And then slowly they started to say, so, I'm like, yes. I'm like, yes, you got it. I'm so proud. I'm like, oh, you're so proud of me. Like the little things. Or the teacher before me, I talked about her a couple times. She'd be like, well, they're Section 8 kids. They're not so smart. They live in, like, what the hell does that got to do with? I think one time I was like, I'm Section 8. I'm on welfare. And it kind of, like I'm in between. I'm not really, but I could be considered. So you better stop all that talk. But yeah. But yeah, man. So new iPad. You could ask me how's it going? Are you enjoying it? I would tell you I don't know, because now that I have high-speed Wi-Fi, I never did before in Japan. I don't know why my house has it. I guess it's a package deal. Not sure. But we have it. But since I never had it before, anytime I bought a new device, I just had to reinstall all of my apps. I got like 3, 4, 5. I got a lot of apps. 600 apps? Yeah, 600. And I got a lot of data. So I just have to... But since everything was stored up in the iCloud thingy, which I know nothing about, because I never use it, the staff lady was just like, yeah, you could just reinstall it. So I do the hello and put all your stuff in there. And that bitch said 17 hours to reinstall. Like, that can't be right. So then I try to keep doing it. And each time it kept 17 hours. So then I just sat there and let it be for a while. And then after, 5 hours, I saw some of the apps coming back. I thought it was just going to be frozen for 17 hours, but the apps are coming, and the native ones, like internet's there and all that. So I went to sleep. This morning I saw more of the apps. What sucks is it's not the apps, it's the data. So I got 600 gigs of like music related data, which is on a hard drive, which I just copied last week. So I could just put that back on there, but apparently you can't it's all or nothing. So I'm just gonna let it. I worked on a video this morning, right? And I was trying to edit it, but the software I used to edit didn't download yet. Let me take my walk now. But yeah. What's crazy is I have a beat machine, but I don't use it. I haven't used it in like forever. But now that my iPad is down, I took out the beat machine, dusted it off, and I made this dope little beat this morning, and it's just like, it's nice because it's tactile, you know. Tapping glass is one thing, but when it's tactile, I can close my eyes and just, and it's a different feeling. I was gonna sell it. It's like I don't use it, but now that I touched it a little bit, it has. I mean, because when I perform, when I do like an open mic, touching a piece of glass is ass. I mean, sonically, you know, it's gonna sound pretty cool because I could do so much more with all the apps. But watching someone with some piece of, like a guitar, just watching someone, like that's where, oh my gosh, he has skill. Those who know. So like I see other people on their iPads and they're just, but what they're doing is like, oh shit, that's awesome. I want to do that too. I saw this guy, he was DJing. He DJ'd Can't Touch It. So he's like two records and he's like, can't touch it, can't touch it, can't touch it, can't touch it. And it sounded like, so someone wrote in the comment, yeah, I'm not so impressed. It sounds like shit. He didn't have to say it that way, but I felt that, like, because I'm inside of, like, I'm on my iPad. If I want that kind of smooth transition, I'll just draw little MIDI notes in. But he's using physical records, not like Serato, for those who know. Like, he has old school records, like there's no clock or anything in there. And what he's doing is impressive. And it's kind of like, again, I wasn't born in the era of turntables. I had a turntable. I had one. Never, and my eye always been on, oh, they got CDJs, but they were like $8 billion. But so I had one turntable. I didn't like all that. Didn't like it at all. I was happy with the iPod when that came out. Oh, I got an iPod. But it's just that gap. I also saw yesterday this random guy. So there's a bunch of like beat makers on YouTube who, you know, they talk about the new stuff coming out, what have you. So I was watching him and he was making a video like back in the day of J-vlogging, where something big would happen and everyone had to put their little spin on what they think. And he's just like, in the community, you just gotta do your thing, man. We don't need no trouble. We just gotta, and it was like a serious, had nothing to do with music making, but just the community. So then I checked up the guy he was talking about. Never heard of him. And this guy, he's just like, blah, 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 blah. I'm an old school, I'm an OG, blah, blah, blah. You're gonna put respect on my name. And then he pulled up a video clip of the other guy who referred to him as that ski dude, which is, that's how people talk. Like if sometimes my students be like, hey bro, like, I'm not your bro. Last week they're like, but I'm your friend. I didn't want to say I'm not your friend, because technically I'm not your friend. I'm your teacher. Technically I'm not even a teacher. I'm a sub who's teaching them. I'm a teacher? But I didn't want to say that because every time I hear an adult say, I'm not your friend, it just sounds, you can be someone's friend. Like, you don't gotta shut people down. So I just ignored it. I gotta think of a way to say what it is. But he was just like, you're gonna put respect on my name. And then he showed his hat, Oakland Raiders. So maybe he was doing Ice Cube stuff. I know nothing about him. I also would have referred to him as that ski dude. I don't know. But then he pulled up the video of the guy who said it, and I know this guy, or at least I watched some of his videos, and he is just, like, everyone has their own thing. Like, my videos, the way I do stuff, maybe it isn't for everyone, you know? Long format talking, no particular agenda, just kind of all over the place. Maybe it's not for some people. They want bullet points, blah, 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 intros and outros. And this guy, he does what he does. He gets access to the new equipment. He talks about it. But the video clip that he pulled up, he's just like, this guy's like, oh wow, look it. It's I don't even know. What's this button do? Like and that's his thing. He does like here's a new piece of equipment. I didn't really read the manual, but this is what I think. And that's one way to show new stuff. Other people are like, well, this button right here, it's not in the manual. So I called up the company and I asked them, and the engineers told me this is what it does, and here it is. It's about 13 millimeter, like they talk like that, which again, it's free. If you don't want to watch this or you don't want to watch me, don't. Anyway, so this guy's just like, I got platinum plaques. And he just kept going back to that. And he's like, he's corny. And he's old school in the sense where back in the day, maybe now, but it's hard to do now. But back in the day, if someone got out of line, you hold their ankles over some balcony. Like, people were ruthless back in the day. There's stories of people coming into the record label wouldn't give them their masters or whatever, so they would go up in there and break shit. We hear those stories. And now, but back in the day, it's kind of glorified. Like, yeah, they used to do that. Now people just get shot and dead, and it's kind of like, why did they have to shoot them? They couldn't have dealt like good men. It is what it is. It's a different time. So he's just like, yo, you're lucky I didn't send nobody to come out and touch you. I should have. And the people in the comment like, yeah. Again, different time. But again, it's like, back in the day, like, I was thinking of, like, I keep thinking about this, it's like, my music now, my level of understanding and the software I have access to make sure my vision is executed is crazy. Like, back in the day, I bought my iPad yesterday, whatever. I spent the same amount for just a beat machine. And I only had that one beat machine, the Roland, the Groovebox 505, the Groovebox 505, MC 505, Roland Groovebox. So I had the 808 sounds, because that's from Roland, but I had no way to mix and master that shit. So it just sounded according. When I went to Temple, gave my first album to this guy. I've seen at a lot of hip hop events. He's like, your drums sound thin. Now, I listen to my own music, so I'm happy with the thinness of my drum sounds. But that's, at that time, when I was on Sweetwater, I believe, yeah, there was the MPC. I don't know which one it would have been back then, 2000 or whatever. And then there was the Roland. The MPC didn't have any sounds in it. So I went with, Roland has 10,000 sounds inside. And so what people were doing with an MPC is you would just take a snare sound find a fat snare sound and take it and make your track. I didn't know anybody. I mean, I knew one person I'd meet, like, I kind of had a mentor. if I would have been talking to him before I made it, I probably would have got an MPC, and then I would have had fat sounding snares. My life probably would have changed, because I spent a good 4 years learning how to master the Roland, which it does help me now, because I could arrange songs, get it out the loop. But I didn't really know about sampling drum sounds. Like, what the hell am I doing that for? Just use what comes in the box. But yeah. But anyway, there's another bunny rabbit. But yeah, so we're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna listen to some Wyclef talk about, because right now he's talking about, he said his parents came to America, they left him in Haiti, and he's saying he was a bully, and he's saying that he didn't think his parents would ever come back for him. And the last part where I ended was he was riding his bike, and in certain parts of the world they don't have good sanitation, or what's the word? Not sanitation. Bathroom. What do you call that? I can't think of it, but they just have a hole where all the doo-doo flows into into a pit. It's like 3 feet. 3 feet? Yeah, 3 feet thick of shit. In Jamaica, when I went there, we just had a hole in the ground with the little thing built on top of it. But he said he was walking and he tripped and he fell into this ditch and he was covered in shit and he had to swim to get out. Again, it's his story. I don't like to discredit anybody's story, but swimming in shit? That's a lot of shit. Like, because shit is shit. I mean, there would be urine. Like, I don't even want to fathom what he's talking about, but he said he had to swim in it, and it's disgusting. And but I didn't know all that. All I know is Wyclef from Bald Wyclef. And Saturday Night Live, or Saturday Night Remix, Mr. Funkmaster pumped the VGs, and all you college students pagan Ouija. Check the spelling RG FUGE. E get the CD from Sangoody. Hee hee. That hee hee. Like, to me, because all the other rappers stab you with your bone, I make you levitate. Like, that's serious. And he's all hee hee. Okay. And then, he did a Shakira, and he did all that stuff. So he's more, I like that more. Like, he would be singing, he'd play his instruments, just not a tough guy. I think he has some tough guy raps. I don't know. I didn't really listen to those. And then he seemed to be the de facto leader of the Fugees. And then Lauryn Hill, and then Pras, who I hope he's not an informant for the CIA. Or maybe he could be. I don't know. Because I always felt like he's a very level-headed, serious dude. It's kind of like when Cannabis lost the freestyle battle. It was like a piece of me kind of... It'd be like if the Wu-Tang members all came out like, yeah, we never seen any Kung Fu movies. In fact, we hate Kung Fu. That would hurt just a little bit. It would hurt. Just. It'd be like if Freeway didn't know who Rick Ross was, the real one. Or if Ross didn't know who Ross. Although I don't really care about that. So, but yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. All right, and the last thing I want to say, I'm all over the place. So, what's her name? Ice Spice. I was talking to my students because she was listening to Ice Spice. I'm like, would you listen to Spicy Ice? And they thought it was funny. I'm an old head now, getting things all wrong. My brother used to do that. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go on the Book of Faces. Like, you mean Facebook? But hey, I gladly enter into this new era of me. Because I'm not young anymore. So anyway, the Spicy Ice girl with her Annie Fro. So she keeps popping up, but the algorithm, once you watch one, they keep sending me more. And I can see the way she talks in some of my students, because that's who they listen to. Maybe that's who they're emulating. And I think there's hope. Because, you know, you got the Cardi B, you got Nicki Minaj, I'm not discrediting him. You got all these different personas that people have, and hers is just kind of like, and all the ones that pop up on my feed, they ask her a question. So what do you think about XYZ? And she'll say, well, I think it's okay. You know how I feel about, like, she answers without not answering, no drama, you know? Because, I mean, I guess she's of the age where people get shot over those stupid little, I wasn't there, but I think this is what it happened from. Ja Rule, 50 Cent saw Ja Rule. They said, what's up? And Ja Rule's like, who the fuck are you? And that's where the whole beef started. Stuff like that. Just those little encounters. But so far, every encounter she had, she's just doing her thing. Playing the position. Do I like her music? I mean, that apple bottom wanna bite. Da-da-da-da-da-da. That part, because it was TikTok and had people doing their stupid little dances to it. But then I heard the rest of the song, like, but that's a bell. Like, I know that track from Mason Puffy. But I know that was broken glass everywhere. So, you know, things just recycle. I know a lot of people weren't so happy with Puff and Mace. He's just sampling everything. So for me to say that would be blasphemy, although I think a lot of people would. But yeah, I think that bell is the perfect place to end. Thank you guys for rocking with me. I didn't intend for this to be so long, but I just want to talk about some stuff that was going on this week. I might put the other one up there too. I'll try to put the song. I won't even put it in the video. I'll just put it as its own little thing. All right, peace.